Hello, it's Dr. Juice here. Today we're going to be talking about choking in competition. Why do you ask? Because I just choked in competition yesterday. No, actually it's because I'm trying to provide you value. So what is choking in competition? You see this happen with professional athletes all the time. I actually barely watch any professional anything, but I've heard that people have choked before, even like the great athletes of our times. And I certainly have choked personally. I have a very bad problem with choking in competition. So I've played tennis competition before. And with tennis competition, the scoring works in a kind of specific way where if you're not consistent through the scoring, if you're not consistently playing at your high level of gameplay in tennis, then you kind of end up losing. Or at least you have to constantly maintain that pressure. Because if someone just starts playing a little bit better than you, even if you've been playing better than them the whole time prior to that, they will start to just come back and score. And there's no time limit. At every step of the way, you have to get, say, 6 games. It's called games, which makes a set. And then you have to do multiple sets. But for every game that you do, you have to earn it every single time. There's no shortcut. There's no like time limit ticking down. You can't do it in a way such that you force your opponent to have to take a lot of risk to beat you, because every point just gets reset and you just keep doing another point. This is in contrast to like some team sports game like basketball where it's time based, or football where it's also time or team based, and the opposing team can do like a defensive strategy just to stop the other opponents. The opponents have to keep taking larger risks. Of course, you kind of also need to maintain the high level of play for the other sports. But I feel this at least more strongly when I play, say, tennis, as opposed to, say, ping pong or something else where there isn't really. The other thing with tennis is the scorings. A game can go on forever, actually. You can play for an unlimited amount of points in a game if you just keep going back and forth. Whereas, say, like ping pong, it's like win by two. So you're always playing like a fixed number of points. So that kind of scoring system, to me, feels like you always have to maintain the pressure. And I find myself choking a lot. Like I will get up in points like a lot, and then suddenly I'll feel relaxed, and I'll just play worse because I'm relaxed and I feel like it doesn't really matter, and I also don't want to choke, and I'm thinking about that, and then I will lose those points. So it's very psychological. I see this happen. It's not just with me. I see this happen with so many tennis players. Of course, it can happen in other sports too. So what happens in choking exactly? I think there's actually studies that monkeys have choked before. So monkeys choke whenever they're trying to grab food from a tree or something. Let me look this up. Okay, so this is the title of this is Monkeys Exhibit a Paradoxical Decrease in Performance in High Stakes Scenarios. So when a reward gets too high, that's whenever people and monkeys apparently have been observed to choke. Okay, so what they're trying to do is they have to reach for like fruits or something from a tree, or they have to reach for something and they get some reward. And the more they increase the reward, the more it motivates the monkeys, but up to a certain point. Once the reward is too big, the monkeys just start having too much pressure. They start choking. So pretty funny. I don't know why this occurs in monkeys, and I have no idea why it occurs in humans. This just seems strictly worse. You think it would get ironed out through evolution and we just wouldn't choke anymore. What's the real purpose here? I have no idea, honestly. Can anyone in the comments have an idea for why choking evolved? Let's ask ChatGPT. All right, so what ChatGPT says here is when faced with a situation perceived as threatening, the body's stress response can impair cognitive functions critical for optimal performance. So this is more like a side effect of our evolutionary tendencies. We have this stress response in us where if you're in a high stakes or risky scenario, we get adrenaline and we get stress so that we focus more, or at least we're like attentive in the moment. We are active in the moment during these times. And it can tell us whether we want to go into this high stakes scenario or run away, right? So in competition, running away just makes us lose. There's no um, good reason to run away from competition. But in ancient times, if you run away from a high stakes scenario, it might save your life. So I think this is where we evolved this tendency. And then also, it seems to be a byproduct as well. If you're just very highly stressed, you need that stress response, and for all sorts of reasons, for in many other scenarios. But that stress response can actually work against you in competition. So that's choking. I don't really have a great lesson to take away here, other than just try not to choke. Just play your game, just do your optimal performance. You'll always get more tries in the future. All right, that's it. That's Dr. Giselle. I hope I don't choke anymore.